In our mind's eye, Vermont seems to typify all that is right in today's world. From its bucolic scenes to its small towns and friendly people, Vermont symbolizes a way of life for which to strive. Many people have vacationed in Vermont specifically to take part in this style of living. Whether it's skiing in winter, hiking in spring, swimming in summer, or watching the foliage turn color in the fall, Vermont has proven to be a wonderful four-season getaway for sportsmen and romantics alike. Experienced Vermont vacationers know that nothing compares with the charm and character of a good country inn, a place where high-quality accommodations and first-rate service can be enjoyed in a friendly, social atmosphere marked by quaint country living. From the delicious dinners prepared with local game and produce, to the colonial charm and spectacular scenery, Vermont's country inns are ideal for weddings, honeymoons, anniversaries, or just plain getting away from it all. This videotape guide provides a look at 23 of Vermont's finest country inns. Each one is a little different. Each innkeeper has created a different atmosphere. This tape will help you choose the one that's right for you. The Arlington Inn is a plantation-style Greek Revival mansion built as a private home in 1848. Located in historic Arlington, Vermont, the Arlington Inn has a carriage house once used as a temporary studio by Norman Rockwell.
The inn sets on 4 acres. We have three buildings. There's the main inn that we're in now, and the carriage house, and the garden wing, which is out there. So we have 13 guest rooms in total. There are 6 in the inn. There are 4 in the carriage house, and those are our larger suites. And then we have 3 garden rooms which open directly onto the planted area between the tennis court and that building. The rooms in the main inn are filled with antiques, and we have everything from small sleeping rooms to larger suites here which take families.
Although the inn is decorated in a formal Victorian style, every effort is made to make the guests feel comfortable.
We're a romantic inn. We're casual. We have people who come here dressed to the nines in their suits and ties and tuxedos and formal wear, to people who are running around casually in shorts and tennis shoes. We try to provide an atmosphere where everyone can be comfortable. The inn is formal. It's the formal Victorian, but a lot of people come up and they want to be casual and they want to enjoy themselves. So we try to give them that kind of an experience.
Guests can enjoy the sunny breakfast room or taste the award-winning cuisine in the more intimate candlelit dining room. After a grilled double breast of game hen with a dried cherry salsa or a grilled black Angus sirloin, guests can retire to the inn pub for an after-dinner liqueur.
Arlington is really a beautiful place. It is where the view from the State Seal is from Arlington. We have the Norman Rockwell Gallery here. So within Arlington itself, walking around is kind of a nice pre-Revolutionary War town that is still occupied by the descendants of the founder.
The Arlington Inn is a short drive away from Stratton, Bromley, and Magic Mountains, or guests can visit local antique shops and museums.
It's a wonderful place to relax. One of the things our guests like to do is go and pick up a picnic lunch and drive up into the National Forest, which is just behind the inn, and find a place along a babbling brook that they can pick as their spot and sit and enjoy an afternoon. Others like to go down on the Battenkill, which is just here in front of the inn, about a mile down, and watch the fishermen. People come from all over the world to try their luck on the Battenkill to see if they can get the big trout.
The Black Lantern Inn is a former stagecoach stop located in the quiet village of Montgomery. This small town in the Northeast Kingdom is known for its many covered bridges. The inn, dating back to about 1803, is one of the oldest continuously running inns in America.
We have a total of 16 rooms. 10 are private rooms with private bath. They either have a twin-bedded room, a double bed, or a queen-size bed. Then we have 6 suites. One of them is a 3-bedroom suite, which is really ideal for a family or for like 2 couples that are traveling together. And it has a wood-burning stove. And in the bathroom, the bathtub is a whirlpool. We also have 5 other suites that have a living room with a fireplace, and they have TV and VCRs. And the bathtubs in those accommodations are also whirlpools. And there are more deluxe accommodation.
The suites also share a shady porch to relax in. Some suites have a private deck or balcony with a breathtaking view. For the more active guests, there are several prime skiing locations in the area.
In the winter, we obviously get skiers, cross-country skiers to come at one of, I think, Vermont's most spectacular cross-country ski centers called Hazen's Notch, which is definitely off the beaten track and never crowded, even on weekends. In fact, last year the snow was so good that they were cross-country skiing there up until April. And downhill skiers who usually ski at Jay Peak and some of the eastern township areas like Sutton, which is only a half hour from here.
The Black Lantern clientele is diverse, but I would say we have a very romantic dining room. We've had quite a few people get engaged in this dining room. We also get a lot of very athletic people since we do a lot of bike tours and hiking tours, so we do get people who are into all the sports.
Guests can enjoy a drink at the bar while choosing from such specialties as lamb marguerite or Norwegian salmon in lime dill sauce.
Our food is prepared daily. All our ingredients are fresh. We're very proud of our menu and how our food is presented and our choice of recipes. Every day we have fresh bread made, fresh desserts made. All our salad dressings are made here. And we also cater to the individual, since all the dinners are prepared when you order it, that if someone has a special low-fat or vegetarian request, it's not a problem for our kitchen.
Guests will note that there is no smoking in the dining room. After dinner, guests can watch TV in the library or enjoy the warmth of a soapstone stove in the sitting room. In the morning, a hearty breakfast is served.
Our breakfast is pretty traditional Americana breakfast. We offer usually a choice of all the various kind of standard egg dishes with, condiments of bacon and sausage. And we also always provide oatmeal or cream of wheat or some other cereals, usually yogurt and granola for the people who are more cholesterol conscious.
And there's always fresh muffins.
And fresh muffins, and our pancakes are always, we usually have a different kind of pancake every morning.
Whether you spend your day at the old swimming hole or the Jay Peak pool, decide to go fish a mountain stream, visit a nearby golf course or tennis court, or wander the back roads antiquing, it's always a pleasure to return to the Black Lantern Inn, where you can relax as you enjoy the countryside. Blueberry Hill is a restored 1813 farmhouse at the foot of Romance Mountain in the Green Mountain National Forest.
I think what sets us apart from the majority of the inns in New England is the environment where we're located. What you have to realize is we're surrounded by the National Forest, a private ownership within the National Forest, which is somewhat unusual, and certainly one of its kind, particularly in Vermont. And to me, that's been the success of Blueberry Hill, is bringing people into this kind of environment of seclusion, being on a dirt road, very unusual. We have about 120 acres of land that's owned by Blueberry Hill, of which we have about 40 miles of cross-country ski trails, which we use symbiotically with hiking in the summer. We maintain the trails in the summer and also in the winter. So people can go for walks in the summer, and you can go out in your sneakers or your high heels if you want it, because they're so well groomed out. Our grounds, we have some wonderful blueberry bushes out there. We have 300 bushes of blueberries, which are at that prime now, which people love to pick. We have, being a Brit, we have some lovely flower gardens. I love having flower gardens all around us, and of course the formal herb garden, or herb garden as they would say over here. The swimming is great, a spring-fed pond. We have a sauna, which in the winter is used a lot, particularly after a day of skiing.
Blueberry Hill also has a resident potter in the old blacksmith shed who makes the beautiful mugs used at the inn.
We have four rooms in the main part of the inn, which was built in 1813 and was built as a loggers inn. What you have to realize, this whole area was logged off in the early 1800s, so they needed a place to put these loggers. In these old rooms, you got the wide plank floors, probably that came from this area, and the low ceilings, and we've furnished them with the antiques of that time. And then about 6 years ago, we added on a wing and tried to keep the same motif with the rooms. And our bathrooms are a little unusual. We have cedar bathrooms, believe it or not, where the walls are made of cedar. Totally impractical, but it's different. And it works.
Guests will find cut flowers, fresh fruit, and a hot water bottle in their rooms. What they won't find are TVs, radios, and bedside telephones. And there is no smoking in the inn at all.
We have a variety of rooms. First of all, we have 12 rooms. All our rooms have private bath. Some will have twin beds, and some have double beds. Some have a split level, our greenhouse rooms, which are ideal for families, because the split level, you have twin beds upstairs and a double bed downstairs, so you can put the kids upstairs.
In the lofts, as well as in the open farmhouse kitchen area, you will find Blueberry Hill's indoor garden, dried flowers hanging from the beamed ceilings. In the tap room, guests can help themselves at any time to coffee, tea, and giant chocolate chip cookies. The most popular gathering place is this cozy nook in the greenhouse wing, just below the hustle and bustle of the kitchen.
We feel that people like to sort of get together. We serve hors d'oeuvres before dinner, for example, in the greenhouse room in this solarium. Great place in the winter because you can visualize a foot of snow outside and temperatures 20 below zero, and the geraniums are blooming. And that kind of brings people together. I'm a firm believer in this inn that this is a communal experience. That's why we have a communal dining. Obviously, if you don't want to experience that, we have separate tables. But probably 90% of the time, even more, people enjoy getting to know other people, and the conversations flow all evening. And one of the hardest things is to get people out of the dining room.
Enjoy a 4-course meal. A homemade soup is followed by a fresh salad garnished with enoki mushrooms, olives, and feta cheese. The inn features a spacious open kitchen where you can watch as pork tenderloin with green peppercorn sauce, wild rice with macadamia nuts, wax beans, and baby root vegetables are served up. The fruit tart for dessert is almost too pretty to eat, garnished with flower petals and fresh blackberries. While the inn has no liquor license, guests may bring their own refreshments.
It's a country inn with elegance, but with functional elegance, where we'll take good care of you, where we'll pamper you, where you'll feel comfortable, where you'll feel romantic if you want, and where you can enjoy the outdoors as much as possible.
The Craftsbury Inn is located in the quaint little town of Craftsbury in the Northeast Kingdom, where the 2 general stores close at 7 p.m. The inn was built around 1850 by a prominent Craftsbury merchant. The living room features random width wood floors, a built-in china cabinet, and embossed tin ceilings. The fireplace originally warmed the first post office in Montpelier. The game room features more bird's-eye maple woodwork. A cozy sitting room is warmed by a stove. Guests can also relax in the bar area.
We have 10 rooms, 6 have private bathroom, and then we have 4 rooms that share a hall bath. And all the rooms have custom-made quilts on them that were made specifically for the rooms to match the wallpapers in the rooms.
The furnishings are a delightful combination of wicker and antiques. 3 to 5 entrees are offered each evening in an attractive dining room with a beautiful view of the grounds.
We have actually 6 acres of land, and what you can see from our dining room is the full backyard, which is almost an acre of land, with the rock garden way out and back, and then we have 2 perennial gardens closer towards the dining room, which is lit at night so that you can see it while you're eating dinner. And then in the morning, the sun comes straight through those large windows.
I take care of all the cooking in the inn, and for dinner's is our favorites here. Let's see, poached salmon is with cucumber caper sauce. I use a sautéed pheasant with a strawberry rosemary sauce. All the sauces are done to order too. I do rack of lamb with a Roquefort sauce. We do soups or butternut squash and apple. We do an onion soup. We do on a real hot day we'll do a cucumber fresh dill or a chilled cherry soups.
Fresh salads are attractively garnished with nasturtiums. The entrees are also garnished with crayfish, quail eggs, lemon, and scallion. There are many recreational activities to pursue in Craftsbury. Cross-country ski trails connect the inn with the Craftsbury Nordic Ski Center, or you can try fly fishing local streams, depending on the season. The Craftsbury Inn is 4 hours from Boston, 8 hours from New York City, and 2 hours from Montreal. Edson Hill Manor was completed in 1940 atop this hillside between the town of Stowe, Vermont, and the Mount Mansfield ski area.
The person who originally built the house wanted it to be a gentleman's country estate, really, and he paneled the entire inn, or almost the entire inn, with pine paneling, and he brought in old Dutch tiles to line all the fireplaces, the fronts of the fireplaces. And we've left everything the way we found it.
More recently, 4 carriage houses were added above the inn.
We have 2 types of rooms. Those in the manor house, which are bedrooms of somebody's home, and carriage houses, which are in structures outside of the manor about 50, 75 yards above the manor. The rooms are relatively large. They all have queen-size beds in the manor. A couple have single beds, but those with queens have canopy beds and fireplaces, working fireplaces, and we have redecorated most of them. Each one is different, though. Those in carriage houses are larger. They all have fireplaces with raised hearths. They either have a king-size bed or 2 queen-size beds, and sitting room areas within the room itself.
In the winter, Edson Hill Manor's cross-country touring center provides more than 40 kilometers of ski trails. In the summer, the stables offer trail rides. The ponds are stocked with trout, or one can just relax and enjoy the spectacular view.
It's basically a southern exposure, and it's sort of a rolling countryside with the hills in the distance. And you see our barn and our stables and the horses, and they're in the far distance. And below the terraces, must be at least a 50-foot drop, is our kidney-shaped pool. We bill ourselves as a restaurant country inn. We emphasize the restaurant. We think it's important as part of somebody's vacation to have really good food.
Lunch is served in the attractive bar below the dining room. Hand-painted game birds decorate the walls. Upstairs, an ivy-covered trellis decorates the dining room ceiling and walls.
Our menus change weekly, not entirely, but for the most part they change weekly. We try to have dishes which are really creative and somewhat different. We are comfortable. We want to provide everything that our guests may need, but we don't want them to feel that we're smothering them in luxury and they're charging them accordingly. We want it to remain a place that people can afford and enjoy, no matter what their means are. There are very few places that have 225 acres of rolling Vermont countryside, and this is at the disposal of all our guests. They come here and it's just wow. They think that this is really beautiful. And this is Vermont.
The Four Columns Inn in Newfane, Vermont was built over 150 years ago by General Pardon Kimball.
We're located in a beautiful southern Vermont village that's one of the most photographed villages in the state of Vermont. Right behind the courthouse, the county courthouse, right alongside the beautiful Congregational Church. And behind the inn we have 150 lovely acres of hiking trails and streams and gardens and our swimming pool. It's really a beautiful setting.
The Four Columns has 17 comfortable rooms and suites in the main house and the renovated barn.
All our rooms are different. We go from a cozy country room to our largest suite, which is room 3, and that has a large pink marble bathroom with a two-person jacuzzi tub enclosed in a wooden canopy.
All the rooms are decorated with extraordinary Victorian and colonial antiques.
At the top of the front building, which is the original part of the inn, the original house part of the inn, has a view of the common, a very nice sitting porch. And when you rent room 1, you get the entire floor. A nice sitting area also, along with the room.
Some rooms include extra day beds for extra members of the family, and the welcome extends to the family dog as well, although he must be accompanied at all times.
We welcome pets. We have a lot of pets here, and Jack and I travel with our dog, so we feel that people should be able to bring their dogs.
Downstairs, guests can enjoy an attractive sitting room filled with antiques, or play some games in the tavern room, which sports a pewter-topped bar. Have dinner in the large beamed dining room in front of a huge brick fireplace. Enjoy fine wines and meals prepared to order to accommodate dietary restrictions.
I would say that the cooking is very modern American cooking, using lots of local produce, local game, local fish. We have fresh killed trout, local lamb, local rabbit. There's also quail on the menu that's raised in Townsend. And the food is done in a very healthy way. Most of the things are grilled and cooked with light sauces. There are only 3 inns in the state of Vermont that have gotten the Distinguished Restaurants of North America award, which we got this year. We also have a 4-diamond award from the AAA Motoring Club. So people think very often of the Four Columns as a wonderful restaurant. That sets the tone for the Four Columns in many ways. It goes along with the elegance of just exceptionally nice rooms, and Pam and I like to use the very best when we're choosing materials, when we're choosing furniture. So it's a special place for us, but we also understand that people want to be relaxed, so we try to do something very nice in a relaxed manner.
The Golden Stage Inn, located in Proctorsville, is one of Vermont's oldest inns. Guests can enjoy downhill skiing at Okemo or cross-country skiing in the Mountain Meadows Ski Touring Center in the winter. In the summer, they can play golf locally or just relax by the inn pool or in a rocking chair on the wraparound porch. The Golden Stage Inn has 10 bedrooms with private or semi-private baths. The rooms are decorated with many personal touches. A quilt collection brightens the walls and beds.
We have grapevine wreaths that are handmade by members of my family, or dried flower arrangements, needlepoint, quilts, ruffled curtains, books in many of the rooms. It's not a formal inn, but it's real cozy.
There's a full cookie jar on a table in front of the fireplace in the living room. Guests can settle in with a good book as hors d'oeuvres are served before dinner. The inn has a full liquor license. Guests can sit at large tables or in a smaller dining area to enjoy the 5-course meal served at 7 each night.
We grow a lot of fresh herbs in our garden, so one of our popular dishes is Cornish game hen with a fresh rosemary sauce. We also do pork tenderloin with a fruit sauce, whichever happens to be current in the garden. I do a lot of chocolate desserts, with or without fruit.
The inn is surrounded by 4 acres of lawns, gardens, and fruit trees.
There were no gardens here when we bought the inn 7 years ago, and it's been a great pleasure to us to develop the gardens. Every year we put in a new garden. Our water lily pond in the front yard is the latest thing that we put in. And it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of pleasure too. We cut flowers from the garden to put in the house, and we also grow a lot of fruits and vegetables that we use for our dinner.
Guests enjoy strolling through the lovely flower gardens almost as much as they enjoy the fresh vegetables and fruits served at the Golden Stage.
In the spring, we serve quantities of fresh asparagus in a variety of ways, and raspberries are a big deal. And this year, I don't know how many pounds of peaches we picked, but probably close to a couple of hundred of them. So those will be used in various ways through the fall. I think it's a romantic place, but I think it's a romantic place for active people. We do a lot of work with cyclists in the summertime and skiers in the wintertime. I think we're very, very friendly. We just had some guests here who told us that they enjoyed staying here because I was very visible to them. I was there, able to help them and tell them where to go in the area. We know where all the good spots are within a 30 or a 50-mile driving radius. And I am available, and I enjoy meeting the people who stay here. And most of them are wonderful people, and it's a real pleasure to help take care of them.
The Governor's Inn is a charming 1890 country house located on Main Street in Ludlow, Vermont. The Governor's Inn was built by former Vermont Governor William Wallace Stickney as a wedding present for his wife. The inn features a pair of unusual hand-painted slate fireplaces. In the front hallway, guests may purchase an inn cookbook or a small memento of their stay. Guests can enjoy a beverage in the bar area. The front staircase is lined with 5 generations of family photographs. Upstairs, there are 8 Victorian-style rooms, each with private bath.
Now, we have 8 guest rooms, each furnished individually with family antiques. One room has a beautiful brass 4-poster bed that was my grandmother's. It's been in our family for 150 years. And then in one of the rooms we have some beautiful duvet covers that were in Charlie's family. So each room is very different, and each has its own personality because of the antiques.
Guests retiring for the evening find sweets and a cordial on the turned-down bed. Afternoon tea, a 6-course gourmet dinner, and a full English breakfast are included with your room at the Governor's Inn. The dinner table is set with flowers, silver, antique dishes, and crystal knife rests.
Dinner is served in 6 courses. We have a fabulous young staff who are well-trained, high school young people who work with us. And we try to make it an event. It's like theater. It's fine-tuned, it's orchestrated.
English bone china teapots line the sideboard, and teacup collections hang on the walls.
We have a wonderful dish called scallop mousse Florentine en croûte. People really, this is a favorite entree that we have introduced this year. The Chateaubriand is a favorite because people aren't eating as much red meat as they used to, and so to have a really fine cut of beef I think is important, and to serve it when they're out and away from home. Our corn pudding, which is served every evening, is a recipe that belonged to my great-grandmother, and we have guests that tell us that's why they've come back. They really like that corn pudding. favorite dessert, I think, is Death by Chocolate. That seems to be a...
Chocolate
Oh,
is
yeah,
a safe
chocolate.
favorite
And
for
we do
anybody.
chocolate, whoa. And apricots, I think, are also a favorite of people. We have a lovely apricot dessert.
The Governor's Inn will pack a picnic basket on request. Or maybe you'd rather wait for afternoon tea.
Afternoon tea is a very civilized way to begin a visit in the country. We invite people to arrive in time for tea, and we try to do an authentic kind of tea with biscuits and sandwiches and jams and so forth. Very important to us that guests have an opportunity to get out of the world and sit down and get to know each other and perhaps other people in the room as well. Tea is a lovely way to do it.
The Governor's Inn also has special weekend cooking class packages.
Cooking classes are 5 or 6 times a year on selected weekends and midweek days, and we've been thrilled. We started this program just this year. People come from all over just for the weekend to fly in to enjoy cooking class. It's a vacation as well as an opportunity to learn some heart-healthy, beautiful presentations. We are presenting a 5-course cooking class, 5 courses, and during that time we're taking them on a wine tasting tour, and also we will be going to the largest antique collaborative in New England to look at dishes, antique dishes, beautiful glassware and so forth, and there's a discount offered to our class while we're there. Dining is a very, very special event. I have been, for a long time, have the theory that dining isn't so much about reducing your appetite as it is about a social event. And we try to make every single meal very special. We are a mobile 4-star, and we have 3 times been chosen one of the 10 best inns in the nation. With those kinds of accolades, we can't ever just put our feet up and serve peanut butter sandwiches, and nor would we want to.
The Hermitage, located in Wilmington, Vermont, was originally an 18th century farmhouse. The wine house is attached to the main house, and across the front lawn is the carriage house.
Well, I believe that we are a true country inn in the country, and we are, of course, backed right up to the National Forest and adjacent to the Haystack Ski Area and the Mount Snow Ski Area, and certainly it is rural Vermont, and with the feeling, I think, that you get here is that as you begin to develop a 24 or 48-hour stay, all right, you begin to relax and find the type of thing that you really have come to the country for.
The main house features a cozy cocktail lounge with a fireplace, 4 guest rooms upstairs, and at the rear of the building there is a spacious dining room. The wine house contains a parlor and 7 guest rooms with private baths and working fireplaces. Guests can enjoy the fine artwork in the rooms as well as a large collection displayed in the main house.
I have 2 types basically of artwork here, because I am a hunter personally, so we have a marvelous decoy collection, over 1,200 decoys, of which probably 75 or 80% of them are old working decoys, and only 20% of them are the newer style of decoys. And we also have quite a collection of duck stamps, the federal duck stamps and the different state duck stamps, and then what I called wildlife art, all right, hunting scenes and things of that nature. And then I do have, fortunately for me, the largest single hanging collection of Michel Delacroix's works, of which there are, I believe, about 166 pieces now, and I am only missing 3 of all of the works that he's ever done, and I'm looking for them.
Outdoors, the Hermitage offers plenty of activity year-round on its spacious grounds.
We offer cross-country skiing in the winter, and of course fine dining and wine, and in the spring we begin our maple syrup operation, and as we get on towards summer, we do have our jam and jelly operation. We have our sporting clays, and as we move on towards the fall, we have our pheasant hunts And so there's something to be done on a year-round basis here.
At the end of the day, guests can enjoy fine dining with specialties such as pheasant, venison, and partridge.
The style of menu here is continental, with a strong emphasis on game. And we raise all of the game on the property and then prepare it in our kitchen and serve it to people. We raise all the pheasants and the wild turkeys and the geese, the ducks, the venison that we serve is all raised here on the property and all dressed here and all prepared for you here and served in the dining room.
Guests may enjoy viewing the many exotic species of waterfowl raised on the grounds.
Well, we have all of the pretty ones like the mandarins and the wood ducks, the rosy-billed poachards. We have the common ones like mallards and black ducks and Canada geese. We have swans. We have Australian black swans also, as well as the mute white swans. Mostly waterfowl for the inn collection, just for people to look at. Those never make it to the table.
The Hermitage is probably best known for its extensive wine cellars. Some of these fine wines may also be purchased in the wine and gift shop.
We have the Wine Spectator Grand Award, and I've been there since 1984, which makes us one of 83 people in the world that have been honored for that kind of a wine collection. We have over 2,000 different labels, somewhere between 35 and 40,000 bottles of wine in stock at all times. And my specialty is French Burgundies, both white and red Burgundies. But we have lots of California, Bordeaux, Italian wines, Chilean wines. So we have wine from all over the world. And they're all available, all right, for anyone to enjoy with their meal. Plus, I believe that we have the expertise to be able to recommend the right bottle of wine today for the meal that you feel like having today.
But if you hear someone yelling for cognac or brandy, chances are they are calling one of the English setters, bred and trained at the inn.
We do find once in a while that a dog gets lost in somebody's room because somebody has missed their dog and would like to have one of ours. And they're pretty friendly critters, you know. They meet and greet you in the parking lot, and they wander around. But every inn has to have some dogs.
The inn at Sawmill Farm in West Dover, Vermont, provides a simple country elegance among the comfortable weathered boards and hand-hewn posts of an old barn.
When you enter, we have a main reception room, followed by a big open walk-in fireplace in the lounge, where it's a large seating area and where people gather for tea in the afternoon. And in one of the alcoves of the barn, which was a hayloft, is a library, which we also have a large screen TV in for special events, which people do use at times. And then we have a formal dining room and a garden dining room and a cocktail lounge, which is pretty much just a service bar. And in between them, we have a little area where we have piano music in the evening with dinner.
The innkeepers, formerly an architect and an interior decorator, have used all their talents, and it shows in the individual design and the rich appointments. Each room is decorated differently, some with classic colonial furniture, some in the Victorian style. Different color schemes are enhanced with fine English chintzes. Some rooms have sitting areas, and others have private balconies. Guests may enjoy Godiva chocolates as they retire. Guests may also stay in one of several cottages located on the grounds overlooking the trout ponds. The inn encircles an attractive pool area, which is very popular, and a tennis court is available. In the summertime, the Marlborough Music Festival draws many visitors. Golfers will enjoy 2 golf courses nearby, and skiers may visit Mount Snow just up the road. At the end of the day, choose a delicious meal from the extensive menu created by Brill Williams.
I do think that one of the interesting things is that he's not a professional in that he did not attend a culinary institute. truly, when he came in, he worked with his mother for about 7 to 9 months, and then Ione slowly retreated out of the kitchen with a big smile, and Brill has taken over and expanded the menu. When Ione was there, it was 5 or 6 entrees, and now it's 17, 18, or 19 entrees in the kitchen, and a little more extensive.
He definitely has left me in the dust.
We do have a 4-star rating with the National Restaurant Association, which is just tremendous. That's about, they award that to 200 restaurants out of about 25,000 restaurants in America, so it's really is a great honor.
Brill has also built up a large collection of fine wines.
Right now it's probably about 34,000 bottles. Of that, there's, I would say, approximately 870 selections. We're noted because we have probably the finest and largest selection of Montrachets, French Montrachets. There, I would think, about 28 selections in that one. We have hopefully something that's going to make all our guests happy. We'll have one guest that'll have a $15 bottle of California wines, and we'll have the second guest that'll have 2 bottles of $140, $150 bottles of wine. We do have guests that come to the inn because of the extensive wine cellar that we maintain.
After 25 years of improvements and additions, the innkeepers still enjoy the intimacy of a small inn.
I think one of the pleasures really is the guest. We've found day in, day out, the American public are just tremendous. Their reaction to us, when we started this, other professional hotel people said you have to screw fasten the ashtrays to the tables and glue the pictures to the walls, and you can't use good towels. People don't steal them, they just wrap their shoes in them. We found it completely different. Day in, day out, real and true, the people are just marvelous.
The Inn at Wethersfield began as a 4-room farmhouse in the early 1800s here in Wethersfield, Vermont. Additions were made over the years, including the 2-story southern colonial veranda. The inn sits at the end of a maple-lined drive behind a large pond used for swimming or skating. There are 7 public rooms, including a large gathering room, a sunny breakfast room, a sitting room, a large candlelit dining room lined with old books, and a tavern.
Well, I think one of the more popular rooms is the large sitting room off the little tavern. The tavern, by the way, is interesting because the architectural elements in the tavern have been taken from 2 late 1700 inns, the Wayside Inn in Sudbury, Massachusetts, and the old Deerfield Inn in Deerfield, Massachusetts.
High tea is served at 5 p.m., and guests congregate on the veranda to enjoy the repast. They may choose from a fruit and cheese platter, a hot dish, and desserts. Dining is a special event at the inn. Guests dining by romantic candlelight are entertained by not 1, but 2 pianos. There are 10 individually decorated guest rooms to choose from and 3 suites.
The 2 buzzwords with a colonial inn, I think, are canopy beds and working fireplaces in the guest rooms. And this old building is fortunate in that we have 12 working fireplaces in this building, along with a good assembly of both canopy and early 1800 cannonball type beds.
In the morning, guests will be entertained at breakfast by a local Vermonter reciting the poems of Robert Frost, unless you decide you want to be truly pampered.
You can still have breakfast in bed here after all these years. It's a full, big complete breakfast. And we serve it on an English butler's tray with a stand right next to the bed. And the theory is that the guests should not have gotten out of bed. They're supposed to, as you come in the door, say, oh, breakfast already.
The rooms are decorated with dried flowers, and they are furnished with period antiques. Fresh fruit and bottled water are provided for your convenience. For a very special occasion, you may request the bridal suite, which features a beautiful canopied bed, a private sitting room, a jacuzzi tub, and a private rooftop deck.
We have several suites. Two suites are for two people. One is almost like a bridal suite, a honeymoon suite, and another suite is a nice suite with a sitting room for people who want a little extra space. And we have one family suite, which is very, very good for family configuration where they're bringing teenage children or perhaps two couples who are related. Makes a very nice arrangement for them.
The inn at Wethersfield offers horse-drawn carriage or sleigh rides. Guests may wander the inn's 21 acres or enjoy the perennial gardens close by. Before leaving, be sure to examine the original beehive baking oven in the keeping room.
We think we may be the only inn in the United States that does serve an entire meal from the open hearth facilities to an entire dining room.
Authentically prepared colonial meals are served at several major holidays. Experience the fine points of days gone by at the Inn at Wethersfield. Juniper Hill Inn is a 1902 colonial revival mansion in Windsor, Vermont, which is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Juniper Hill has 28 rooms and 13 fireplaces. There are magnificent views of Everett's Pond and Mount Ascutney from the brick patio. Landscaped flower gardens surround an in-ground pool. Inside the inn, the elaborate oak woodwork and high ceilings may seem formal, but dress is casual, and the comfortable antique furnishings provide many cozy nooks. Smaller sitting areas lend more privacy. After a stroll around the grounds, guests can enjoy a look at antique photos in the library beneath a spectacular Palladian window. This sunny room has mementos of Teddy Roosevelt's visit to Windsor. If you're lucky, Boswell the inn dog will let you share the library with him. Upstairs, there are 15 guest rooms with private baths. You can enjoy a canopied bed and antique furnishings. One room has a private porch overlooking the pool. Other rooms have fireplaces or a sitting area for a quiet, romantic evening.
Every room is equipped with some of the things that we consider the niceties, but yet the essentials of a good country inn. We believe that having a little glass of sherry before you retire by the fire is the best way to go. We always have a contemporary book of Vermont things, activities, Explorer's Guide or something like that to read. And there's a carefully developed manual in the room that talks about the inn, the history of the inn, and activities within the area.
Enjoy a hearty breakfast in the sunny dining room, which also features a service bar. Then, in the evening, enjoy a more elegant meal.
We do a 4-course candlelit dinner, single seating at 7 p.m. for our guests only, set with a beautiful crystal at the table. And a typical meal might be a soup starter, a fresh salad for the next course, and the entrees range between beef, fish, and poultry. Perhaps you'd have Cornish hens with a Cumberland sauce and wild rice and a fresh vegetable. And then we always do every day a homemade dessert, and that varies from day to day depending on season as well as type of weather that we're experiencing. Our guests seem very satisfied from the comments that we find in the books.
Guests can enjoy skiing, golf, shopping, or hiking along the forest trails nearby, or they can just relax by the fire.
I think the fact that we're secluded from the village and yet can be part of it very quickly. Windsor's a small little, almost a hamlet, I think, with a small population, but it has some nice little shops, and the State Craft Center makes it very attractive. And yet we're up away from the traffic that a town would provide. It's very quiet. We're 800 feet above street level, We're surrounded by evergreens and deciduous trees, so it makes us feel like we are separate even though we're so close to activities. That and the fact that we have a view of the Connecticut River Valley that is probably unsurpassed, and the view of the mountain really makes it really special. It's just, there's a serenity here that you have to experience. It's very hard to describe, but when you get up in the morning and you either go outside or look outside, you feel very peaceful, and there's nothing that can beat that.
Lareau Farm Country Inn is an 1832 Vermont farmhouse located in Waitsfield, about 5 minutes from the Sugarbush Ski Resort. Lareau Farm is also the home of American Flatbread, a type of frozen pizza which is sold up and down the eastern seaboard.
The biggest difference between it and pizza is it lacks tomato sauce. And it's baked here in the wood fire at about 800 degrees. And the structure of the oven bakes it from the top instead of from the bottom. So all those factors tend to go together to make it a much lighter tasting food than pizza, but yet it has the same appeal as pizza.
Guests can sample this unique dish on Friday nights when the barn is opened up as a small restaurant. Lareau Farm Country Inn is a Greek Revival farmhouse with attached outbuildings where visitors can get a real feel for country living.
We're situated right on Route 100 with the Mad River between us and the highway, and we have 67 acres that comprise the farm. We have our big red barn, and the horses live out there. And our property has logging roads where you can go take some walks. We have 2 swimming holes, one that's a little more public than the other, so one we send you off to skinny dip in, and the other one just go have a good time in. We can take you on picnics in the back meadow in the horse carriage and all those kinds of things. There's all kinds of outdoor activities if those interest you. Tennis, golf, swimming, fishing, hiking, soaring. It's a major soaring center in the east here in the valley. Lots of good hiking trails along the long trail or just back roads walks. So for the outdoor enthusiast, all that is here. And the suppliers who can rent you all that kinds of things are here. Then there's the shopping, lots of fine, unique stores and craft stores and antique places, and then there's the ultimate of Ben & Jerry's. That treat is a half hour away from the inn, the Ben & Jerry's factory.
Lareau Farm Country Inn has 2 comfortable sitting rooms where guests can enjoy the country charm of a traditional farmhouse. A spacious dining room looks out on the meadow behind the house. In warm weather, a hearty country breakfast of juice, fruit, bacon, and blueberry pancakes, or maybe raisin bread French toast is served on the back porch. The rooms upstairs are decorated with quilts handmade by Dan's wife, Sue. Carved wooden headboards and antiques accent the rooms.
We have 13 rooms. 11 of them have private baths, and 2 of them share one hall bath. The private baths, for the most part, tend to have the queen-size beds. Some of the rooms that have private baths will have 2 beds in them, and in that situation there might be a double and a twin. One room can take an entire family. It has a double and 2 single beds and a private bath and very, very large floor space. So that's quite popular with families because the price is right.
Children particularly enjoy visiting the 4 dogs and 3 cats and feeding the 3 horses that live on the farm. Although there are many activities to pursue locally, such as skiing, soaring, and sleigh riding, many guests find what they're looking for right out on the porch. The Middletown Springs Inn was built in 1879 on the historic town green in Middletown Springs. Middletown Springs was once a fashionable spa, and the inn was formerly a private home of the Vail family. Occasionally, there are reports that Mr. Vail has paid a visit.
Only because we can smell cigar smoke. It happened to me just yesterday in my room, and you walk into a room and it's really very strong, and then you come back again 3 seconds later and it's gone. But as I assure everybody, he's very friendly and we like him.
Guests can get away from it all at Middletown Springs, but there are still lots of activities to pursue.
Well, the area is quite popular, really. Southwestern Vermont offers quite a wide variety of activities. Of course, the summer season here really is the bigger season, although often that's not obvious to everyone. Good restaurants in the Manchester area, excellent factory outlet shopping, really excellent, one of the better developments, I think, in the Northeast.
Guests notice an English influence in the decor long before Jane's English trifle is served after dinner.
The Vale family, funnily enough, were originally from England. I often wonder if they like me being in here because I gather one of them was with Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys over at Fort Ticonderoga. So I kind of get a very perverse delight in putting the Union Jack out there. But certainly there are English influences in the house. I furnished it with some of the English things that I brought with me, and so my guests tell me it has a very definite English feel about it.
The almost floor-to-ceiling windows and the massive doorways of the two sitting rooms are also found in the two dining rooms downstairs, where a fixed menu dinner is served. Vegetarian dishes are available. Around the large table there is an unusual carpet, thought to be original to the inn. A large country breakfast is served in the morning.
We have a full breakfast. We provide home-baked muffins, tea, coffee, cereals, and I do a fresh fruit bowl every morning, everything fresh, followed by bacon and eggs, fried tomatoes, fried mushrooms, and that's just about it.
Up a curving staircase, past the William Morris print wallpaper, there are 7 lovely guest bedrooms, decorated with lots of chintz and dried flowers. Each room is different, with various sleeping arrangements. Porcelain and old books personalize the charming antique furnishings. There is a little souvenir of your visit to take home. There are 3 more rooms located in the carriage house next door.
Well, really, we've tried to capture a kind of English country house atmosphere. Which really is an opportunity to go stay in someone's home as guests of the family and pursue activities or not as you see fit.
Yes, we want to preserve the feeling of a home rather than an inn or a hotel. I hope we've done that.
The Okemo Inn was built in 1810 in Ludlow, Vermont. It is off the main road right at the base of Mount Okemo.
We're about 1.5 miles at the most from Okemo Mountain. That's the most convenient area. It's the fastest growing ski area in Vermont, and it has an excellent reputation for trails, conditions, and grooming.
After skiing, relax near one of the fireplaces downstairs or enjoy the second-floor sauna.
It's a large sauna. It's open to anybody who wants to use it. And especially in the wintertime when it's cold, people like to come back and basically sort of thaw out.
In the summertime, the pool is the main attraction. Guests can also relax on the back patio and enjoy the greenery.
During the summertime, most of the people that are here are usually bicycling or playing golf. There's a state park up here. They can go canoeing or something like that. We have a swimming pool that gets used in the afternoon so people can cool off during the summer when it's hot and uncomfortable. But most of the people just come and relax and enjoy the atmosphere and the peace and quiet of getting away from the busy everyday life.
Downstairs, guests can watch TV or have a glass of sherry in the sitting room where the only time clock is an antique. Or you can choose a memento of your visit to bring home. Guests sit down together at 6:30 in an attractive colonial-style dining room to eat a dinner of peach soup, roast beef, baked potato, maple-glazed carrots, and cheesecake for dessert. Upstairs, the rooms are individually decorated.
Most of them are all pretty much the same. They all have their own bath. They all have at least one double bed. Some have two doubles. We have 3 queens and 1 king-size bed. They're all decorated pretty much the same idea. It's not all typically antique furniture, but it's not decorated in a modern style either. We try to be very casual, homey. I think we sort of pride ourselves in taking care of the personal needs of people, trying to take care of their problems if they come in and don't have something, their car won't start in the wintertime, looking for directions, emergency comes up or whatever. We try to accommodate people as much as possible in their stay.
The Old Tavern at Grafton has been providing hospitality to village visitors since 1801.
I should explain to you first that the Old Tavern is actually owned by the Wyndham Foundation and operated as a wholly owned subsidiary of the foundation. It's a little unusual. Usually you'll see a business that's spinning off a nonprofit. In this case, we have a nonprofit, which is the parent organization, owning the Old Tavern. The Old Tavern, we have 66 individual rooms. 14 of them are in the main building. In our annex, there's another 30 rooms across the street from the Old Tavern. And then we have 7 other buildings in the village that are where our rooms are located, and you can either rent an individual room or rent the whole house. And all this, again, is all in that charming little village of Grafton. All our public areas, as well as all our rooms, are individually decorated. Everything is, every room is furnished with antiques and well taken care of by the tavern and by the Wyndham Foundation. And it's just a treat for many of our repeat guests. They like to stay in a different room each year just to see how each room has been decorated.
The public rooms in the Old Tavern are warm and inviting, down to the plate of cookies on the coffee table. The Kipling Room harks back to the days when General Ulysses S. Grant, Daniel Webster, and Ralph Waldo Emerson were guests at the inn. The dining room at the Old Tavern offers traditional New England fare in elegant surroundings. There is also a sunny cafe. Next door, in the old barn, you can enjoy more casual dining while admiring the quilt collection. The inn has a spring-fed swimming pond, a cross-country ski center, tennis, and many walking trails.
It's clear that we're a very unique operation because we're owned by the Wyndham Foundation. The Wyndham Foundation owns about 3/4 of the structures in the village. It owns and operates other businesses as wholly owned subsidiaries. A wonderful cheddar cheese company called the Grafton Village Cheddar Cheese Company, a nursery operation called the Grafton Village Nursery, and the foundation owns the grocery store and the gas station and an art gallery as well, although we don't operate them directly. We own about 2,200 acres in town. We have several other agricultural programs, and I think that people find the ambiance of all those things put together in a picture-perfect New England village is really a very relaxing vacation.
10 Acres Lodge is an 1840 farmhouse located in Stowe, Vermont.
We're trying to create a feeling of home and comfort, a place where people can come and relax and just enjoy what we have to offer here, the ambiance of a comfortable library and living room, and a feeling of home, not at all formal. The main lodge here is an 1840 farmhouse. We have 8 rooms here. They are all king and queen bedded, all with full private bath, all decorated with a little bit of a different country charm to it. And then the Hill House, which was built in '86, They are also king and queen bedded, again with full private bath. Those rooms are a little bit more spacious than main lodge rooms. Those rooms also have fireplace with a sitting area in front of the fireplace. They also have cable TV, which main lodge rooms do not. There's balcony and porches in the Hill House, and it's close to the hot tub.
Below Hill House, you will find a tennis court, a pool, and 2 cottages.
We have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath cottage, and we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The smaller one will sleep 6 with the use of the pull-out in the living room, and the 3-bedroom, 2-bath will sleep 8. Both decorated in country charm, both with kitchen facilities, both also with fireplace and TV. Great for families, great for couples traveling together.
And we allow pets in the cottages.
Which we do not in the rooms. And that is also, you know, we do have people that travel with their pets, and that's important.
10 Acres Lodge has a comfortable living room and a cozy library separated by a large fireplace. Jazz is played in the paneled tap room, a nice place to relax at the end of the day. You will definitely want to spend some time in the inn's dining room. Don't miss the Texas antelope.
Our menu is a creative American cuisine. It changes on a weekly basis. There are always additional items on the menu, specials, so to speak.
There's always lamb, there's always veal, there's always poultry, there's always fish. There's usually 8 items, at least 8 items on the menu in season. And usually 5 appetizers and a soup and 2 salads.
Our pastry tray, our pastry chef is known for her pastries. Our desserts are phenomenal.
We have a great wine list. We have
quite extensive.
Over 200 different bottles of wine. We have an extensive wine cellar. We buy wines years in advance, hold them in the cellar till they mature, and then put them on the list. And that puts it at a great bargain for the people too, because we tend to price the wine according to what we paid for it, not what the going market rate is. So our old and rare wines, so to speak, are a pretty good bargain for people.
We consider ourselves somewhat special because we are just off of the main road. And I think many of the people, many of the guests who stay with us really appreciate that. Most people that stay with us really enjoy it. We try to take that extra step to never say no. I mean, if we can make that, you know, a little bit more special for them, we do it.
The Three Mountain Inn was formerly a farmhouse built in the 1780s in the small town of Jamaica, Vermont. The inviting living room features a Dutch oven fireplace and unique wide paneling.
The walls are probably the main feature of the whole inn. This was called Kingswood. Most of it was sent back to England if it was this wide. So the fact that this is here and has been preserved, the guests really are in awe of this wood.
It has this wonderful sense of history, I think, and warmth that really attracts people in the winter and fall. We always have a fire going in the main fireplace. This room originally would have been the kitchen, and likewise then people would have congregated in that room.
Guests can enjoy a drink before dinner in the lounge. Dinner, featuring many grilled specialties with light homemade sauces, is served in 2 graceful dining rooms, each with a cozy fireplace.
I make all the bread here. Every day the bread is made fresh, and we have 4 varieties of bread. We make every soup from scratch. The desserts are all made here on the premises.
Taste the flourless gâteau au chocolat with raspberries, and sample the house dressing, which is marketed locally.
There are 10 guest rooms in the inn. They're all very different. Some are double beds, some are twin beds, some are large 4-poster canopies. And then there's six rooms in the house next door in the Robinson house, and they're all very different also.
Some rooms have a private balcony overlooking the pool area.
Right at the inn you would have your swimming pool in the summer, and at any season you have hiking, which is in the state park, and that's 4 blocks away, which is literally in our backyard. That's good for cross-country skiing, for hiking in winter, hiking in summer or fall or spring, also for fishing on the West River. There's just nothing quite like it, where you can be in a little village that is still untouched. It still looks like an old, pristine village. And it's also a walking village. You can go out at the inn door at night after dinner and take a circular route around town, and you'll know you're in a little country village.
The other thing I think we try to accomplish is to make it a relaxed environment. I mean, Vermont itself is a very relaxed, unique spot, and I think here at the inn, it's amazing to see people come in on a Friday evening who are here for a weekend with their shoulders taut and tense, and within a very short period of time, just completely unwind. So I think the relaxed mood is also important.
The Tulip Tree Inn was the rambling country home of William Barstow, who brought friends such as Thomas Edison and Henry Ford to Chittenden, Vermont.
We go bicycling. We're close to the Long Trail and the Appalachian Trail for hiking. There are a lot of very nice golf courses within a short driving distance of here. You can go swimming, or you can hang out on the front porch and read the newspaper, or fall asleep.
The Tulip Tree Inn has a large living room which is attractively furnished. There is also a large, comfortable den lined with windows.
I would say people tend to gather in here. It seems to be the most. In the summer, the windows are open, and there's always a nice breeze, and it's cool. And in the winter, the fireplace is roaring, and I think that tends to gather people.
Guinness, a friendly English sheepdog, enjoys the den also.
We're a tiny inn. We just have 8 guest rooms here. All of our rooms have private baths, and 5 of our rooms have private baths with jacuzzis in their bathrooms. And we found some lovely reproductions to put in the rooms. We have a beautiful 4-poster that's kind of fun. And all the rooms I tried to choose different colors so that they're each different in their own way. We serve dinner and breakfast here. Dinner is always a 5-course meal. I try to serve Vermont products. We get lovely Vermont hams here and lamb, and of course maple syrup is used as much as possible at breakfast. And I make a pumpkin cheesecake that's pretty well known at this point, and it is served with Vermont maple syrup, which makes it fun.
Other inn specialties include tomato soup with cream and gin, medallions of pork with apricot and orange sauce, and a Ben & Jerry's ice cream pie with cherry, cognac, and chocolate sauce.
Everyone sits together at dinner, and a typical evening we encourage our guests to join us in one of the sitting rooms before dinner, around 6 o'clock or so, have a drink if they'd like, but more importantly sit and talk with the other guests, have a chance to sort of get to know one another, and because they will be sitting together at dinner, and most people enjoy it.
Guests can relax with a drink from the bar or something from the wine cellar.
We were fortunate enough to win Wine Spectator Award last year for our cellar. It's predominantly French reds and California reds. Of course, there are white wines. There's some Spanish wine. There's some Italian wine and Chilean wine and so on. But the heavy focus is on reds from California and France. That's a big fun part of the business, and I think that makes a lot of guests very happy. And I think some guests come specifically for that. I guess what sets us apart is our setting. In the woods, quiet, peaceful, surrounded by trees in the forest, and the guest interaction, our interaction with them and their interaction with each other. We feel that's a strong, important factor in innkeeping. And since an inn is probably an experience more than a place to be.
The Vermont Marble Inn is a Victorian mansion built on the town green in Fairhaven, Vermont in 1867. The inn sits on 5 acres.
It's what you would call in Italian, it's Empire architecture. It's, it has the mansard roof, it has the porch columns, and it's constructed of marble that are 12-inch thick blocks of marble. As beautiful and magnificent, munificent as the house is, we are not formal people. We're very informal people. So that when you come in here, our main criteria when we furnished it was we want beauty, but comfort first. So if you feel like lobbing around, you feel like sitting down and curling up, or if you just want to just lie down on a sofa, you feel comfortable. The main thing is the warmth, that we love people. And whoever walks through this house, through those doors, is VIP.
The 12-foot ceilings in the parlor are decorated with crystal chandeliers and carved moldings. Of the many marble fireplaces, the 2 finest grace the parlor.
We are told that they're some of the finest marble in the world, and they were commissioned to be sculpted in France. They're hand sculpted in France and then brought here. But the marble itself is from Carrara, Italy.
Up the open staircase, there are 13 guest rooms, each named for the innkeeper's favorite authors.
The room that was the master bedroom in the house had to be William Shakespeare, and then we went from there. And we decorated the rooms with the authors in mind. Really, the Henry Fielding. We thought of the Tom Jones, story of Tom Jones. So we did that more on the country side. It's elegant, and yet it's got different furniture in it than Elizabeth Barrett Browning, which is a little bit more formal, or William Shakespeare, which is very formal. And Oscar Wilde was done with tongue-in-cheek. We did pink walls with a masculine bed. We just thought that would be kind of smiley.
The Vermont Marble Inn serves afternoon tea specially blended by the innkeepers.
We serve our home-baked cakes, that we do everything here in the kitchen. We have pastries, cookies, scones with cream and preserves, and it becomes a get-together time for the guests at the inn when they come in for tea. And they sit around, if in the winter time or cold weather, they sit around the fire and they chit-chat. In the summertime, we serve tea out on the porch with the wicker furniture, and they watch the world go by. It's just wonderful.
Dinner is served in one of 2 dining rooms. Ask about the special degustation tasting menu.
The word is translated from the French dégustation, which means long digestion. And what it is actually a tasting. It's an 8-course dinner.
Here's a sampling to whet your appetite. Grilled swordfish on hibiscus sauce with pineapple salsa. Tomato and wild rice salad with basil on a bed of radicchio. Roasted quail stuffed with zucchini and cheese in a roasted red pepper sauce accompanied by a rice timbale, baby carrots, and snow peas. And a chocolate Kahlua crepe in a fresh strawberry sauce.
We have now become the only country inn in the state of Vermont that has 4 diamonds and 4 stars. We have just received the award from Mobile, being a 4-star establishment, and we are very, very proud of it.
Guests at the Vermont Marble Inn can find plenty to do in the area.
Well, for the most part, I think they
antiquing.
They love antiquing, and they love water sports. They do the water sports and bicycles. Bicycle riding.
I'd say the 4th thing is horseback riding.
Yeah, the big thing here in this this part of the world, this terrain here for bike riding is wonderful, and a lot of our guests do an awful lot of bike riding.
And of course, they're here for honeymoons and romantic weekends too.
Yeah, this is a very romantic house, so a lot of people come just to relax and to rest, and others come for romance.
With a fireplace going at night and a canopy bed, and when you close the door to your room, you're in another world, you're away from the entire world. It's just the two of you, and that's it. What can be better?
The West Mountain Inn in Arlington, Vermont was originally a farmhouse back in 1849. The house was enlarged over the years, and the 7 gables were added. Located on 150 acres, this hillside retreat offers breathtaking scenery.
I would say it's a place where you can come and relax, get revitalized and reinvigorated so you can go back and face the real world. We're just sort of apart from the real world.
Wes has wonderful collections of things. Wind chimes. He's always had African violets. We put them in the room so everybody gets to have an African violet with them. He has collected all sorts of different kinds of animals. So we've got some exotic goldfish, and now he's into llamas. Previously it was pygmy goats. At one time it was lop-eared rabbits. So we've got a lot of nice things in our inn to delight people, which I think is wonderful. And the other thing is we also have made a commitment to make sure that our inn is accessible. And we put in a special room downstairs so that those folks that are differently handicapped will not have to climb stairs if they can't do that. And I think that that's really unique and wonderful.
Downstairs, in addition to the barrier-free room, there is a comfortable living room and several sitting rooms, a game room, a bar area, and a large dining room. Upstairs, the rooms vary in style and size. Most have a scenic view. Guests will find fresh fruit, a chocolate llama, and an African violet to take home.
We draw all sorts of people.
All
We
sorts.
definitely have honeymooners that come, but we also do encourage families to come. We really believe that it's wonderful to see families together. And so, and some weekends we'll have no children, and other weekends we'll have children. Depends upon kind of the mix that happens. It doesn't, we don't discriminate here. We like diversity. We like lots of folks coming.
Outdoors, the West Mountain Inn offers bird watching, beautiful flower gardens, and the main attraction, more than a dozen llamas. Or guests can just sit and admire the view.
I think one of the nicest things about what happens here is that we don't feed too many pretensions for people, and so they learn to just veg out and relax. So they can easily come and sit and read a book in one of our comfortable chairs, chat with other people, go to the game room if they want to play some backgammon, that kind of thing. We also encourage them to go out and visit with the animals if they'd like to do that. We have good hiking here and cross-country ski trails. We also have the Battenkill River at the bottom of our hill, so people can swim, fish, canoe, tube, do all those wonderful things. So there's just a lot of kind of activities right here at West Mountain Inn, and a lot of people come and they never want to leave. In other words, they'll have a big hearty breakfast. We can always give them some cheese and crackers in the middle of the day, and then they'll have one of our delicious dinners so that they don't need to leave.
At dinner time, selections include filet mignon, rack of lamb, a crisp roast duck, or seafood.
So we've always had a chef, and we've always allowed that chef to kind of do what she or he wants to do in terms of the kinds of food. As long as it's fresh, we try to use local farmers' foods. We try to use indigenous, foods that are from the region so that people know that they're getting the best quality and I guess the freshness and all of that we love to
We also
bring
have
to
a health and hearty diet, which eliminates salt for those people that like it. A lot of vegetarians that come here, for those that have good veggie dishes, you might say. It's a feeling of home. You're back out at Grandma's house. It's in the country, away from the rest of the world. That's where you are.
The White House of Wilmington is a stately 29-room mansion built as a private summer home in 1915.
It's a mansion. It's not really Victorian. It's turn-of-the-century mansion with just elegance, but we don't get super formal. We try to have a friendly staff,
when we hire people, we hire them more for their personalities and their experience as a waiter. Right down to the housekeepers. The housekeepers, almost any one of them can run the office.
The living room runs the entire width of the building. Comfortable furnishings surround a large fireplace. A sunny lounge with a sunken bar is located between the pillared balconies. One of the inn dogs, Eleanor or Roosevelt, will come out to greet you. The elegant dining rooms feature classic continental cuisine served in front of large fireplaces.
All the house guests choose from the menu, right from everything on the menu, and it's all included. And it goes from probably the specialty of the house is boneless stuffed duck, stuffed with apples and walnuts and grapes, and put a berry sauce on top. And we also have filet mignon, fish dishes, and so forth, and there's about 5 or 6 specials every night, too. And Joe, our chef, loves to make desserts. And then on Sunday brunch is when he really loves to put on a show with all his various cakes, but he, unfortunately, it kind of bothers him he can't do any of his ice cream creations for Sunday brunch.
As you proceed up the sweeping staircase, admire the Victorian chandelier and the elegant windows. Delicate arches line the hallway. There are 12 guest rooms. 5 have working fireplaces, and in 2 rooms, French doors lead to a private balcony. This room contains some of its original furnishings and looks out on the gardens. Behind the inn, a formal flower garden overlooks a 60-foot swimming pool.
Of course, in the summertime, people enjoy the pool outside. During the wintertime, they enjoy the patio lounge or here in the living room. And of course, the cross-country trails during the winter, when the ski conditions are right, not only the guests, but other people also come and take advantage of them.
And what about the secret of the White House of Wilmington?
But there is a secret staircase, and this gives rise to stories about ghosts and so forth. I just tell them if they're interested in the staircase that they're going to have to look for it and try to find it. And it takes quite a bit of searching. Some people never do find it. When they're checking out, if they're really anxious about it, we will show it to them, but it takes away from the fun of it, trying to find it.
The Windham Hill Inn in West Townsend, Vermont, was a working dairy farm for many years.
The inn now has 15 guest rooms. There are 10 in this old farmhouse, which was built in 1825. And there are 5 in the White Barn, which was built in turn of the century.
The rooms there are spectacular. The views are absolutely unbeatable.
We have 160 acres here, so we're very much off the beaten path. As I said, there are 15 guest rooms, and they all have private baths. Some have little decks or balconies.
In terms of privacy and location, our place is hard to compete with. Sometimes we forget because we do live here, but we have 160 acres, as we've said, and we're protected on all sides. So it's and the land is a mixture of rolling meadows and wooded land. Terrain is flat or steep, depending on what you want. So it really is a spectacular location. If people are looking for peace and quiet and this kind of setting, we certainly can give them what they want.
Our fall foliage season is just spectacular, and it's our busiest time. And because we are secluded, and because we are not exposed to the crowds that tend to take over the state during the month of October, it's a wonderful place to just to see the peak foliage.
This cozy parlor is where guests gather for hors d'oeuvres before dinner. Wonderful old antiques are accented with a Victorian shoe motif.
We have an antique shoe collection, which you'll see all over, little baby shoes and high-button shoes and wedding shoes, and interesting. I find them very interesting.
One of the things that's an advantage, I think, in this end is that we have a lot of so-called common space. So it gives people the opportunity to socialize if they want to, but they can also hide if they want to. I mean, they can hide without going back and closing themselves up in their room. That's a real advantage.
The guest rooms offer treats such as this 4-poster canopy bed and a built-in window seat. Upstairs, the rooms have a warm, homey feel. Windham Hill is a non-smoking inn. The barn rooms have beamed ceilings and a more rustic feel. Enjoy a complimentary sherry on the deck before dinner.
Our dinner service is formal. We use antique china and silverware and lots of candles and that kind of thing. But again, it's very relaxed. It's more like a big dinner party every night as opposed to a restaurant. You do have the option of dining with other guests in our large dining room or dining separately in what we call the Frog Pond room, which overlooks the pond. The food is basically my creation, and as I said, it's sort of like a dinner party atmosphere. We serve 6 courses, and they're generally kinds of foods that most people can eat, and I just try to make it a little more interesting with regional ingredients and that kind of thing. I think the presentation is important, so I kind of get my kicks out of doing that. We do accommodate special diets, so if someone can't eat the entree or the appetizer, they can have something else. Today, we made a Linzer tort. We are also making a bittersweet chocolate pâté, which will be used a little later in the week. We do things like baked Alaska, lots of tarts, and lots of chocolate.
Sometimes guests get to have fresh pie with ice cream for breakfast.
We usually do a fresh fruit and homemade breads and things like that. We squeeze orange juice and have eggs. We have our famous griddle cakes that people have been trying to get the recipe for years, and we won't give it to them. They have to come here. And it's a leisurely, long, full breakfast.
After breakfast, the innkeepers will help you plan your day sightseeing or hiking. In the winter, you can learn to cross-country ski, and at night, Strauss waltzes are piped out to the floodlit pond for skating.
By and large, the people that come to Windham Hill very much want to take advantage of our surroundings, you know, be it wintertime or summertime or fall.
And they don't need a lot of organized activity. You know, they might want to drive around and look at some of the small towns or antique shops or country stores, but basically they like to be here and they like to stay here. It's, as I said, it's just a destination inn.
If you would like to obtain another copy of this video guide, which entitles you to a 10% discount card for the inn shown here, please write Big Picture Productions, P.O. Box 524, Bernardsville, New Jersey, 07924, or call area code 908-221-1112.